Right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sophie Davies, and I am the fresh foods buyer at Planet Organic. So for those of you that don't know Planet Organic, we are an organic and specialty health food store based in London. We have 8 stores across central London, and we're on a mission to open an additional 10 in the next 5 years. So at Planet Organic, we pride ourselves at being at the forefront of innovation and leading on product trend within wellness. Whether that's a CBD chill shot, a collagen skin glow protein bar, a cauliflower pizza, or the exciting kombucha. So, I'm sure we all remember our first kombucha. I certainly do. It was a Joshua tree in California. It created that moment and that occasion. I went there for the weekend with some friends, and on the way there, we picked up some food and drink. And I thought, I don't want another beer, I don't want another boring soft drink. And of course, in the home of kombucha, I picked up one of those and took it for the weekend. And it created that moment and that occasion. I felt relaxed, re-energized, without having to compromise on health. And that's why I believe this drink will be so successful and has been so successful. So today, I'm going to talk you through 3 key points. What has driven the growth of kombucha? What are buyers looking for? And what does the future of this category look like? So kombucha automatically ticks 3 key wellness trends we've seen. That's low sugar, gut health, and sustainable packaging. So I'm going to take you back to 2015 at Planet Organic. We had 10 kombuchas on the market. A few of them, there's Karma, there's Ucha, there's Love. They arrive on the scene. We go to 2017 and we see Wild Fizz, Jar, and far more. But then most recently, this is our kombucha bay at Planet Organic, which, can you see that? Because there should be 2 bays there. No, right, okay, so that's not actually what the picture's meant to look like, but to kind of summarize, kombucha is now 2 full drops at our store. So here we have 3 shelves in 2015. Skip forward to 2019, we have 2 full chiller drops. That's 160% more shelf space than 2015. And that just shows everything, the growth of this category. So what's contributed to this? Well, like I say, we've had the local brands on the scene, which we've championed. But then most recently, we've had the global players come onto the scene. They've made a mark on this category. And like people have already spoken about today, that's Kavita, Hum, GTs, Lowbros, and Remedy. And whilst I can understand from a small brand perspective, that's quite tough because they're established brands, GTs holds 50% of the US market and Kavita 15%. But these guys are enabling this category to move forward. It's bringing awareness to what kombucha actually is, and it's tapping into the mainstream, which I think is a positive. And so, at Planet Organic today, 1 in 3 drinks we sell is a kombucha. That's remarkable. I now want to touch on the product a bit because I think we're all clued up that there's so many different types of kombucha on the market these days. Okay, so the product evolution. Up to 2017, kombucha is very much a premium product in a glass bottle, ready to drink. We then go to 2018, and we see the take-home size. So that says many things. It shows that gut health is becoming part of the everyday basket, that gut health is a trend here to stay. People are drinking more kombucha, people are taking it home and having it as that occasion I've already mentioned. And then, most recently, cans. Probably the most monumental change here. Cans make the product so much more accessible. They make it a mainstream product. From a retailer's perspective, having a can is great from a supply chain point of view. It takes up less shelf space, it's more sustainable, and it's lighter and can help with shelf life. Let's talk a little bit about the actual product flavors we have and the product types. So we've got that kombucha, which is a craft, authentic kombucha. It's vinegary. It's got bits of SCOBY floating around, probably the more hardcore, like Karma. We then have the more palatable, maybe sweeter, carbonated drink, which appeals to perhaps the masses, such as Remedy and Kavita, not your traditional kombucha. You then have a product which sits in the middle, which I'd say kind of ticks both boxes, and that's something like Wild Fizz, which is a UK brand from East London. And I think it's really important that we have all these types of products of kombucha because it means that we can shake up the ready-to-drink industry, which is, product full of lace of sugar and not very healthy or necessarily good for you. So whether it's an authentic kombucha or a more commercial kombucha, I think we're still all doing a really great thing. And now, Planet Organic sales data from our financial year in 2015 to 2019. 2015, we took 26K, 57% up on the year. 2017, we took 157K, 61% up on the year. And then 2019, our most recent financial year, we took 403K on kombucha. That's mad. So what contributes to this? Well, obviously, all supermarkets have, a few of their best sellers, usually ginger or a berry kombucha. And price promotions constantly drive sales, and that's what, ultimately drives it. But kombucha is a very fragmented market in the UK at the moment. There are so many brands out there constantly fighting for that shelf space, and it's really, really challenging. And Dennis mentioned earlier about number one kombucha. So they are the highest value kombucha, but that is down to the fact of their distribution sites. They're backed by Sainsbury's, and they're in plus 1,000 stores. So what does the future look like for kombucha? Well, at Planet Organic, a health and wellness store, I'd say we've probably reached our peak. But for the rest of the market, the multiples, the food-to-go sector, this is so exciting. Look at what's happened to kombucha in the last 5 years. What about the next 5 years? Do any of you guys remember when you'd go and buy your dairy-free milk 5 years ago? You'd be faced with a choice of 1 soy milk and 1 almond milk. Now you go into the multiples, and you've got 5 oat milks, 5 rice milks, 5 almond milks, and the rest. I strongly believe this is what will happen to kombucha. It will be competing with the likes of Red Bull and Coke. It will take time, but we'll soon be seeing shelves of it. So keep doing what you're doing because it is really, really important. And now I want to give a little bit of an insight into the buyer's decision process and what we have to consider here. So for me, there's 5 key factors I like to think. That is taste and nutritionals, branding, point of difference, retail support, and pricing and margin. So as a buyer, whether I'm looking at dairy-free milk, whether I'm looking at chocolate, or whether I'm looking at cheese, I look at the 6 months sales in units and cash value. I look at the price promotions we run to see what is influencing those sales. And what is this graph here? Well, it's a product matrix, and this is how I like to make my decisions. So, you've got your basic range, which doesn't mean the product's basic. It is driven by price. So Karma Kombucha, 60p per 100 ml. Mid, you've got LA Brewery, 92p per 100 ml. and speciality, jar at 116 per 100 ml. So it's really important to have enough products at each of those bands, because you aren't just appealing to one consumer, you're appealing to a broad range of consumers, and you want to tick all those boxes. So Wild Fizz is a UK brand from East London, and for me, they're a really good example. They have fun branding, little microbes and colour, they jump out on shelf. The taste is fresh and natural. I always feel like it does wonders for my digestion when I drink this ginger and turmeric. They're always in our store, sampling, engaging with our customers. And their pricing is competitive and sits well amongst the range. So what I would say here is always think about your point of difference. What can you present to the category that is different to the other products on the market? So just back your product. I now want to look at a success story, an example of a brand which have really cemented themselves in the UK market. And this is Lowbros. So Lowbros fall under the Soul Fresh umbrella in Australia. They've come over to the UK about 18 months, and it's about lifestyle. So Lowbros, their social media is huge, but these guys are about lifestyle. It's about having fun whilst educating, inspiring, and being bold. There are many brands that do this, but to just use these guys as an example. They tick 3 boxes for me. Brand awareness. London activation. So, whether it's a gym, it's a spin studio, and they're doing Kombucha Fridays, and they're sponsoring it. Whether they're at the new vegan restaurant in London, example just up there. They've tapped into the pub landscape, or they're there at all the gut health, supper clubs, events across London. They're tapping into not just that retail consumer within health stores, they're in so much more. So whether you drink kombucha or know about it, I think a lot of people in London probably know about these guys, just about their activation. And then retailer support. So they have supported us a lot with window vinyls, in-store sampling. They launched 18 months ago, and they're still in our stores once a month, sampling, engaging with a customer, telling them their story, and educating them on, what kombucha is. Because I hate to say it, so many people still don't know what kombucha is and haven't tried it, which is a huge opportunity. And then product range. They make it fun. They do seasonal kombuchas. Their watermelon was a real hit. And I think they have a winter kombucha coming out soon. They also reinvented the classics. They've got a cola kombucha, a living lemonade, and so on. So perhaps you aren't a kombucha drinker and it sounds a bit too scary. Well, Coca-Cola is a really good way to start and tap into that. So I'd say think of your brand and make it about lifestyle, make it about fun. Make people want to drink it, make people want to post pictures on Instagram with it. Challenges. So, unfortunately, ready to drink is a very saturated shelf space. There are so many drinks. I receive so many samples of drinks. But what I will say is, you need to think about the multiple retailers, which is essentially where kombucha is going. This is Waitrose, which is a UK supermarket. They are a more premium store. They often kind of lead on product trends within the industry after kind of the health independence. That is their functional health drink space at the bottom there. You've got coconut water, juice, smoothies, shots, aloe water. And that little red circle is the 2 facings kombucha gets at the moment. So it really is a tight space within functional drinks. Again, something we've already discussed today, is the fact that there's no global standard of identity for kombucha. That's really challenging because anybody can put kombucha on their bottle. And I think as a health retailer, I do feel a loyalty to have an authentic kombucha. But like I said, at the same time, it's good to be able to have a commercial one because of the price point. It taps into so many other trends. Like I say, low sugar is such a big trend within drinks at the moment. There's been a real paradigm shift in the market, I'd say, from authentic kombucha to low sugar, gut-friendly drinks. And I think we will start to see more brands, not that coming out as kombuchas, but as gut-friendly drinks. There's an example here called Farmhouse Culture. They're a US brand. They do all sorts of funky products, sauerkraut crisps and the rest. But they have a really interesting sparkling probiotic drink. So I think we will also start to see that within this kind of gut health drink space. And then consumer behavior and choice. The thing we're all dying to know about and try and get as much data as we possibly can. Obviously, consumers are very brand loyal. But I think we also really need to think about Generation Z. So that are people that are born from 1995 to 2015. So my little brother is at university, and he sent me a picture the other day of him and his friends drinking kombucha, trying to cure the hangover. I mean, amazing. I definitely wasn't doing that when I was at university. But it just kind of shows that, that generation cares so much about climate, health, and so on, that we need to be tapping into that market. It's definitely hard to do, but I do think it's really worth considering, whether it's at university unions and so on, and claiming the product as curing a hangover or whatever it might be. But this is the generation that are led by digital. Make your branding cool, make it stand out, make people want to take pictures of it so it's on social media. I can't tell you how powerful that tool really is. And then here are some examples of some store activation we've done at Planet Organic. So like we've mentioned a lot today, GTs and Remedy. They took over our chillers, and that's pretty tight space. So that is one chiller. We have about 4 of those usually, and that is water, energy drinks, coffee drinks, juice, health shots, and so on. And that is just one bay. So it's quite a lot to dedicate as a retailer. But it just shows how powerful it actually is. And then we've done some other fun things. We have kombucha on tap in our store, which I think will become more and more part of this zero waste movement we're seeing with unpackaged stores. I think that's a big scope there. And then Bootleg Booch, which Dennis mentioned earlier. We did a fun pop-up kombucha bar in one of our stores. And then we did a New Year, New Gut meal deal. So I think that's a really good opportunity, is the retailers you are working with, could you do a snack bar and a kombucha on a deal and try and get in front of the consumer that perhaps wouldn't have drunk kombucha before? It's always about trying to get that new consumer into the product. So my message here is be creative, be bold, think of fun ideas you could engage with retailers and really jump out. Marketing and e-commerce, a very powerful tool. So, at Planet Organic, our second most searched term on our website last year was kombucha. That is above chocolate, vegan, oat milk, and so on. Have a guess? Anyone in this room? No. CBD. And we have actually just launched a CBD kombucha. So going back to Instagram, 1.6 million posts when I typed it into Instagram the other day. And that's not including kombucha lovers, kombucha brewers, hashtag this and hashtag that. It's probably 2 million. So that just shows how Instagram is such a powerful tool and is making this product a lifestyle. And it is snowballing this gut health trend we're seeing today. So, like I say, make your product stand out and really jump out. There are then a few clips here from some national newspapers in the UK talking about kombucha, not just for the gut health gang, and so on. I think the media is a really powerful tool and something where kombucha needs a lot of education, and I think over the next 5 years, we'll see more and more emphasis on this. People talking about what kombucha is and why it's good for us. And that is really needed in order to make this a mainstream product. And now the kombucha future. So the alcohol-free sector is huge. The adult drinks sector, soft drink sector, is a huge opportunity. 1 in 5 adults claim to be teetotal. 29% of the 16 to 24-year-olds claim to be teetotal. So I think we will see this continuing to tap into the alcohol-free trend, into the pub landscape, and so on. And then here are some fun product development ideas within health and wellness. These guys is June Shine. They're a Jun, actually, but it is a 6.5% ABV. They're a fun lifestyle brand, and they started off in California, and they're now, I think, in New York and a few other states. So we've spoken a little bit about alcoholic kombucha today. I do think this has scope. And then another brand from the States, Rowdy Mermaid. So functional drinks is probably the next stage of innovation we are seeing. And they will be drinks which are kind of functional-led, whether that's energy, immunity, skin glow, or calm. These guys have taken a kombucha and added botanicals, such as lavender, to make it calming, or chili, ginger, and turmeric to make it an immunity boost. So there are just a few ideas. We then have GTs who do a very good job of seasonal kombuchas. And this is definitely something I'd like to see more of. And I think also we will continue to see more people do own brand kombucha. I know Starbucks are working on it. I think Pret are too. So that is another big opportunity. Have they? Oh, I have to go and check it out. And then obviously the education around what kombucha is with DIY kits. 2 minutes, okay. So I want to take you back to the first time I tried kombucha. And it is unbelievable how much this category has changed in 6 years. I think the next 6 years are probably going to be more exciting. You're going to be competing with the likes of Coca-Cola and Red Bull. You'll get over that functional drink space, and you'll then be in all the multiple retailers. I really think the scope is huge, and the future is so massive for this category. So, thank you very much for listening to me. I now welcome any questions.
Hello, my name is Mariusz. I'm from Poland, so this is a very fresh market. We just had a conversation. How do you find a point where the market is really saturated? How many brands on the shelf? When is the point when the competition starts over the growth together? And the other question is about packaging from the consumer's point of view. How do you think starting with the can on the fresh market, is it when most brands just switch to can from the bottle? How about starting with the can?
When we first started kombucha, 2015, we made a concept. We had 10 products. We now have 95 kombuchas in our store. So I'd say it's pretty saturated for us at Planet Organic now. But that doesn't mean that we won't bring in and take out brands. I just say that the pace at which we're innovating and bringing products in is definitely slowing down. But my advice is, really establish yourselves in your markets and then go on with leverage. And cans, I think that's a great idea. Start with a can, it makes it accessible. Hope that helps.